The important thing to understand about mRNA therapeutics is that mRNA is a code for proteins. So proteins are the molecules that really do the processes inside your body. And here's the important thing. In almost all diseases, the problem is proteins that are not working in one way or another. And the fantastic thing is that with mRNA, you can make pretty much any protein you want, and you can make it anywhere in the body, because your cells is going to be the medicine factory. You give them the mRNA code, and then they produce the protein that your body needs for you. There's two pieces to this, right? It's the mRNA, which is the code that the body needs to make proteins. And at the same time, mRNA is a really, really fragile molecule. So if you put it straight into your body, it would eat it and destroy it almost immediately, within seconds in the bloodstream. So we needed to make some kind of protection. So the lipids in the lipid nanoparticles that you put around your mRNA are there for several reasons. They are there to protect the mRNA from your body so that it can actually do its job. But it's also there to help the mRNA enter into the cells and into the right cells. The fantastic thing is that the body really doesn't see the mRNA bit, so you could exchange that one for pretty much any mRNA you want. The code can be different, and the LNP, the particle, still looks the same. So once you've found an LNP, like a lipid nanoparticle that works, you can just stick with that formulation and exchange the code inside, and your cells will do wildly different things. So that means that in theory you could treat cancer and a metabolic disease and a cystic fibrosis and even maybe a vaccine with almost the same lipids or the same lipid nanoparticles, but the code inside is different. So that's what is meant by a platform technology. And this, of course, has some very big potential in speeding up the development of new medicines.
That's the concept of the Expert project, trying to build a cancer vaccine. So we started out doing all the experimental work, and we tried to build a pipeline where we first tried to build or design the particle and design the payload with all the instructions for the immune system to be able to recognize the tumor cells. But then, of course, the next step is to be able to produce them and produce them at scale. We established the route to actually make these particles at scale. Now to recognize cancer cells, and we demonstrated that it actually works in cancer models. So that all seems to work, and now of course the big next step is to actually test whether it works in human patients. We can already define a bit how the patient population should look like. So what we are going to give is a therapy that turns a cold tumor that is not recognized by immune cells into a hot tumor. For that, we need to inject, similarly as the COVID vaccines, our vaccine directly into the tumor. Will it work for a specific kind of cancer or any type of cancer? As long as the cancer cell is different than the normal cells from which it originated, we can define that thing that makes them different. But sometimes it's really individual. Sometimes there's a unique patient which has a unique signature of his or her tumor. And then we would need to perhaps even make it personalized. So make a vaccine dedicated for one person at a time. That's of course very costly, difficult, but at the same time that may be the future. And then in principle all cancers come into play.
Pretty much everyone knows about the two mRNA-based COVID vaccines, which were wildly successful by all measures, both the efficacy and the safety and the speed they were developed. I mean, there's nothing like it. Then Moderna just got acceptance for another viral vaccine against the RS virus, In this case, it was indicated for the elderly population, but there's a lot more going on in the virus vaccine area. There are also a lot of clinical trials going on in other disease fields, but I think it is highly likely that we will have mRNA-based cancer medicines within the next 5 to 10 years.